Right everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a while, so yeah, I can only apologise. But yeah, kicking back off on a new extension. So we've already loaded out the lovely 6-inch blocks, my favourite. So yeah, we've already dug out and concreted the footing. Bit of a tricky footing with the weather, as you can see. I spent the morning with a small sump pump and a bucket getting the water out of the footing. So yeah, not the easiest. A few drain pipes to get over, and yeah, so we've already put in the drainage outlet on this side because we need to go up. Well, we've tapped right into the storm drain out. Gonna run the pipe along here, gully pot. So yeah, mission today is to get the blockwork started. Firstly, I'm going to get 2 course, or the inside and the outside, 2 course to 6-inch blocks all the way around, just so any water that comes in the trench will have to fill up a hole 225 before we have to deal with it. So yeah, I'm gonna get set out, get a mix on, and yeah, we'll go from there. Right, so we've just got this little corner established, quite close to the edge of the footing, but you know, still fits. So all we've done is just got 4-foot level plumbed from these 2 lines. You can see there, line it up, down that way, and then down that way, because this is straight on. And then slight variation over here, as the line was slightly out, so just measured the edge of the block back to the existing house, 4.50 meters, and then when we run this through, it will be straightened up and should be all good. So yeah, we'll get this all running now. Right, so since we last picked up the camera, quite a lot of work's been done. So unfortunately, like most of the UK, Storm Dara, or whatever you want to call it, has made it quite wet and not the best laying conditions. But here we are, we've managed to crack through it, and as you can see, obviously footing full of water. But yeah, we managed to get the 2 courses. Well, last thing on camera you would have seen was us laying the first courses down. Managed to get both courses down that day. Unfortunately had a couple days away from here, and then when the rain got a bit more bearable, we cracked up the footing. So yeah, today we've got cavity fill, which is going to go the 3 courses high all the way around, obviously because that's ground level. So yeah, my brother has picked it up loose on the back of our tipper over there, and he shoveled it in the mixer. Well, we got loose ballast and cement in the mixer, mix up, straight out in a barrow. And after that, we're picking up some hardcore just to stone up this area and that area, just so the mini digger can track back across in. That's why we've left this section of blockwork out, and then it can get the walls in, excuse me, get the backfill against all the walls, scrape the slab down. We've got a skip coming and a power barrow, just so we can get the rest of it gone pretty much. So yeah, now it's stopped raining, the ground's had a bit of time to firm up with the cold, so yeah, that's helped us out quite a bit. But yeah, like I said, cavity fill today, backfill for this section here, then yeah, I'll get back to you when the cavity fill's done and the backfilling, and we'll go from there. And there we go, just this front section filled in, and we just put some blocks in against the wall because we are going to use this section to run the drain pipe, as it's temporarily connected to the down pipe which goes into this drain. Going to go up, run to the corner, have a gully pot there, and then over where the drain runs through, tap into it, another gully pot on that corner as well. Ideal. And there we go, looking different once again. So last thing you would have seen would have been getting the cavity fill all in, which is about 2 days ago now. And since then we have got rid of a lot of the spoil. Gonna have, well, nearly all of it. Gonna have a bit of a clean up here today once we finish the slab. So it's had about 100 mil of hardcore in because we scraped off all of the sort of muddy stuff, so that is firm. So yeah, just gonna finish sand blinding the section through here, and then a little bit of blockwork to put in just to finish the perimeter, because obviously when we're wheeling in, don't want to be jumping over. And then we've got polythene going in, gonna have upstands ready so we can then fold over, because there is a timber frame structure going on the top here. We're just doing the outside plinth, and then get the mesh in, tie that together, and yeah, see how we get on. So I'm gonna get this sand blinding finished and the block work done, and then we will get the polythene and mesh in. And here we go, all of our polythene membrane is in for the slab. Got corners nice and tight, corners formed, upstands on the walls, tucked in the small return, corners formed and through. This spray tack, which is used a lot for polythene membrane, which comes out just sort of like liquid glue, stick that on the wall, let that set for 10-20 seconds, and it just gives all your tapes a sticky surface, because everyone knows when you try to stick tape with, you know, any sort of grainy material, it won't do it. But that glue, spray a line of that, tape through, and you're left with a nice solid taped edge. So we're gonna get the mesh in now, get it tied, and I'll get back to you then. Right everyone, morning of the concrete pour. So our slabs stayed pretty good. Inspector came and signed it all off. So got the pump set up and concrete wagons here in a minute. So yeah, let's get pouring. Right, so that's the concrete in all the way around. A little bit of rain, but it shouldn't make any difference. So yeah, now just gonna trowel around all the edges just to get them flat, and after that we're gonna run through with the ball float, just, you know, to get a good pass through. Well, we got a stud wall going on the back there, so I'm gonna do a pass through long ways, and then to make it easier, I'm just gonna go from the front, back, and then sort of try and iron out any humps. But yeah, the only reason I'm troweling around is just so I ain't got to run the ball float close, and I've got a little pad to start off with. So yeah, gonna get this troweled and get it floated up. Yeah, as you can see, we've been blessed with a lovely spot of rain, but you know, we can still flatten off the concrete, just getting all of these humps and dimples out from the straight edge, just so when we lay the insulation on it, it is nice and flat. So I know we're going to have these little marks from the rain in here, but you know, it's still going to be a flat floor. It's just through here it's going to be, you know, through there, so we just need to iron out all these bumps and get it so it's actually flat. But obviously you've just seen I've just done the section down there, so this last little section here is looking good, and then we'll get the ball float out and get this section done. Right, so just seen, do a long pass to get that edge flat, and I just ironed a slab out all the way through, because the way we poured it, little explanation, we set a line up which is where our insulation's going and measured down, tamped this section through, and then used the bubble to pull it through so we know that side's right, and it was just flattening off the middles. And now I'm going to give it, make sure there's no stones on the bottom of the float. And now we're going to do a couple passes up and down on the camera just to explain how we do it. So the float is on a swivel joint. Twist it counterclockwise, it lifts it back up, and clockwise to the front. So when you're floating off, you just want the front in a tiny bit higher, and then so you can get a feel where it needs to be, and then glide it through the concrete. If you hit any snags, you can easily just twist it back up, and there you go. We've got a seamless glide all the way through. Like I said, you might have noticed on the time lapse that I went through with just one handle on the edge, which is closest to the doors. That's only because, as you can see, if I push this one at full arm's reach, I can only really get a couple meters off. Obviously I do know the water is on the slab, but you can see the float pushes it away, and you can just get your eye in, and you're able to see a nice flat surface left on the concrete. And the reason we're doing this is just to take out any rocks, not rocks as in aggregate, but sort of humps and bumps in the slab, just so when we put our insulation on the top, we are not got any rocks or anything, you know, on that. So I've got a little section here, we can just iron it out clockwise, counterclockwise, repeat the motion, and just slide across the slab. So, oh, see, there we go, hit a little snag there. We can just iron, and again, iron it out, back and forward. It's just about patience, going right through, and making sure not leaving any marks or dinks in the slab. I mean, the water is actually a help, because you can almost see where any potential humps and bumps are. But as you can see, not sure if you can, but the ripples is quite flat. And then we can just give the section we just took it off a little trowel out, and we're left with this nice flat edge of concrete. And there we go. So what we have to do tomorrow is put on a small cut course around the outside of these two and the long flank, just because this is a timber frame extension and we're just copying that brickwork plinth. So yeah, I'll catch you all tomorrow and we'll look and check how the slab is doing. Ideal. Right everyone, so this is how the concrete turned out. So temporarily today, what we've just done, drilled a few drainage holes through the blockwork just to allow, see, little sections of water to tip out. Then just for over the Christmas time, we built a temporary deck in just so a client can get out, use the back doors and through, and re-secured all of the orange bunting around the site. So this will be it for this side of the year. So next year, timber frame on the inside going up across, and then brickwork on the outside to plinth height, then timber frame, and then the K-Ren silicone render. So yeah, like I said before, sorry about the absence for a few months, just getting a few things sorted, but yeah, hopefully get this out before Christmas and then back on it in the new year. So if you do see it now, then have a good Christmas, and if you don't, hope you did. So yeah, see you next year.